We've covered a lot of commercials here on Media Mementos, whether it's Bad Andy, the Quiznos rodent things, or our old Weird British Advertisement series. It's safe to say that I have somewhat of a fascination when it comes to commercials from around the world. And ever since I first discovered my love for them, I've been on a quest to find the worst ad campaign of all time, and I think I found it. Welcome to the horrifying world of enzite's Smiling Bob. By the way, this video is going to be talking a lot about the male anatomy, so if for whatever reason that's not really your thing and it makes you uncomfortable, this probably isn't the video for you. But for the rest of you, let's carry on. So picture this. It's 2004. You're sitting on the couch, watching TV, wondering why they don't air Mike Lewinog on the Fox network, and then all of a sudden you're greeted by this lovely face. His broad smile, his unblinking, constantly staring eyes, and his erect posture. This, my friends, is Smiling Bob. He's the mascot for Enzite Male Enhancements. These commercials promise that if you take Enzite just like Smiling Bob, it'll grow your genitalia and you will have much better happy times with the missus, let's just say. Now, the commercials themselves are already not the best. They're kind of the same joke over and over again and go for the low-hanging fruit. And also, Bob himself is kinda creepy, though he's got nothing on Mrs. Bob here. Although I will say that for what they are, they get the job done decently enough, and it conveys Enzite's message in a meaningful and effective way. Uncanny? Sure. Poorly constructed? Not really. So if I'm saying kind of nice things about Smiling Bob, why is this the worst ad campaign of all time? Well, let me explain. Simply put, Enzite doesn't work. It's 100% a scam. For a little bit of context, Enzite was being advertised as the natural version of Viagra, whereas Viagra uses a bunch of chemicals and stimulants to get the job done. Everything that Enzite would use would be all natural, and therefore, the effects that it would have would be permanent. This wasn't just something to take for bedroom fun. This was also meant to be a product targeted towards insecure men who weren't really happy with their size. Enzite promised that if you took their pill, you would see results in no time flat, and the results would never go away. So long as you kept taking Enzite, of course. This, of course, is not true. There is no such thing as a male enhancement pill. The science is purely impossible, at least at the time of recording. And it was even more impossible back when these commercials first came out. So yes, Enzite was 100% guilty of false advertising, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. Enzite wasn't just a scam because of false promises, it was also a scam because it stole your financial info. Oh yeah, Smiling Bob here. He's a money laundering criminal. Okay, Bob himself isn't, but this guy is. This is Steve Warshak, founder of Enzite's parent company, Berkeley Premium Nutraceuticals. The plan was both simple and deadly. Those who called into Enzite requesting their first sample were only supposed to be charged for shipping. The first set of pills came free. That's what was promised, but it was not what was delivered. And I do mean delivered because when you went to go pick up your mail and you got your package from Enzite, you would be horrified to find way more pills than you ordered. You only wanted to try the product out. You didn't agree to buy all these. But it's probably a mistake, right? Or maybe they're just being nice. Well, I hope you're looking at your credit card statement, because what Enzite did was overcharge their customers and send them way more inventory than they requested, and they signed them up for a renewal program without letting them know. Which means all those poor, unfortunate Enzite customers out there would be hundreds of dollars out of luck and would be stuck with a product that barely works. And in fact doesn't work with the main thing it was advertised for, so it was basically useless. And if you think this was just some kind of scummy work on the outside and that Smiling Bob has nothing to do with it, you would be wrong. Smiling Bob was specifically designed to market towards those with insecurity issues and to prey on their lack of confidence. That's right, the messaging, the imagery, The implications? It was all designed to make those desperate men pick up the phone and beg for a free sample, and then BAM! Rorschach and friends would have their credit card info, and they could charge them for however many pills they felt like sending out that day. Sad to say, it worked. By 2004, they amassed over $100 million in illegitimate revenue courtesy of enzite. And it was because of that, the FBI and FDA decided to do a little digging. You see, they'd been getting a lot of reports from angry customers stating that not only were they robbed, but what they got was total garbage. And after a lengthy investigation period, Steve Rorschach was taken to court, where he was charged with conspiracy, fraud, and money laundering. Needless to say, with all the evidence against him, Steve Rorschach was imprisoned for 25 years in August of 2008. But do you want to know the crazy thing? To this day, he still thinks that he didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, the false promises, the stealing, that was totally fine. In fact, let me quote the last interview that Steve Rorschach gave on public record. As Rorschach talks, his two defining characteristics emerge: earnestness and extremely porous logic. He can't be guilty of fraud, he says. Why? Because he didn't believe he was doing anything wrong. Enzite must have been a good product, he asserts. The proof? It was hugely popular. The products were definitely effective, he says, citing the government's lack of proof to the contrary. Enzite was a brand that millions bought and rebought. It was quality. Of course, he forgets to mention that they didn't rebuy it willingly, but okay, sure. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, Rorschach wasn't the only one to go to jail. 4 of his sidekicks and his 75-year-old mother were also charged involving the enzite scam, so man, this really was a family business, I guess. And that's why I say Smiling Bob is the worst ad campaign of them all. It ruined a lot of people's financial situations for a long time, it barely worked, and it was really dangerous with the predatory way that it would advertise to its target base. The Smiling Bob campaign was very well calculated. It used a lot of humor that the base would find funny, it used a mascot that would stick in your head, and it worded the promises well enough to get people's hopes up, as well as not being so blatantly obvious that it's a scam to those who weren't interested or those who it wouldn't apply to. But there lies the issue with the campaign. If it's too good to be true, it definitely is. And this message is very prevalent in today's society. Whether it be advertising a product, a lifestyle, a political campaign, whatever. Companies are using more deceptive and underhanded tactics to get their message across and to increase their revenue. I mean, come on. We live in a world where there's a patent for a TV that presents an ad to you, and the only way to get rid of it is to say the name of the brand to your TV in an excited tone. Enzite, Smiling Bob, and Steve Rorschach may be gone, but their legacy lives on in other forms. Albeit a lot more subtle and moderately more legal. But if you learn anything from today, it's to learn about the product. Do your research. Try to see through the crap in their ads and spot the truth from within. There's always a tell. Even if they try to tailor-make it to be the perfect ad for its target audience, there's always going to be something to give it away. That was most certainly the case with enzite. But by the time everyone figured out what it was far too late. And that's why I say that enzite Smiling Bob is the worst ad campaign of all time. Well folks, thanks for watching the video. What'd you guys think? Do you remember these Smiling Bob commercials from way back when? Or are you not old enough to even know what this is all about? I'm kidding. Don't sue me, please. Also, Steve Rorschach, if you ever see this and you're somehow out of prison, come on, man. You know what you did was wrong. Nobody's buying this whole innocence thing, man. Anyways, comment below and let me know because I'm always excited to hear what you guys have to say. And now it's time to thank our wonderful Patreon friends, starting with our Masters of Fate. Manny Paredes, Kev, Lee Storm, Ryan Williams, Chan 11, MD the Dude, and Diego V. And now our executive producers, Unkill, Blackjack, Edward Haas, HR Hoffman, Who Else But Zane, YouTube Milkwad, Albert Robinson, I Am Fove, Aaron Vasquez, Ravioli Supremo, and Indiscreet One. If you too would like your name read at the end of every Media Mementos video, then why not consider donating to the Patreon? There's a link in the description below for you to check out. And if you want to get more involved in the Media Mementos fan community, we've got a Discord server. There's also a link to that in the description as well. Alright friends, thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you guys next time with a much less penis-based video, I promise. Okay? See you then.